Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. And our show is all about inspiring, empowering, and educating you through life's transitions. We have a very, very special guest on the show today. She'll be up in a few minutes. It's my friend, Ali Levine. She's been on the show once before. And since she's been on the show, she's had her own little reinvention in her life. A lot has transpired. And so I wanted to bring her back because you're going to see a recurring theme happening in our show this year about self-empowerment and self-growth, self-awareness, self-healing. It's all about being selfish in a really, really good way. And I'll talk about Ali in just a minute, what she's going to talk about. First, let me tell you the theme of our show today is doing breath work will change your life. Doing breath work. Yes, the art of breathing, the act of breathing, but not just breathing like you think of breathing, truly understanding the power and the life force that your breath is that most of us just take for granted. And a lot of the issues or ailments that you are dealing with in your life is a direct reflection of the fact that you are not breathing right or breathing well. And I learned this several years ago. And a few years ago, I went away on this retreat in Mexico. It was a 2-week long health and wellness retreat. There was a lot of Eastern European devices and medical devices and treatments there. And one of the things that we had to do when we first got there was we did a little bit of blood work and then we measured our oxygen levels. And the doctor said to me, I have never seen an oxygen level this high, mine. And he said, how is your oxygen level like it's at 100%? How is that possible? And I said, I box breathe. I deep breathe every day. I meditate every day. And so the science behind that is your cells need to be oxygenated as much as possible in order for you to stay healthy. That's one of the things. But I'm telling you, it is 100% because of breath work. And Ali Levine is an expert at this. She's certified breathwork facilitator and guide. She's also a soul expansion coach, world-renowned and intuitive stylist, sought-after media personality, speaker, and transformation expert. You think this lady has a lot of good things to talk about? We're going to have such a good show today. It's going to be so exciting. All right, well, before we bring her up, I want to share with you our weekly intention statement. And so our intention statement this week is, I have today to breathe my way into purpose and joy. I have today to breathe my way into purpose and joy. You do, because first of all, your joy, your happiness, your fulfillment, your inner peace, all of that comes from the breath when you connect and you get aligned. And your purpose, the same thing. I can't wait to talk to Ali about this because this has been part of her purpose. You can find it through breath work as well. So we wanted to tie those two things together. All right. So what we do every week with our intention statement is my amazing team makes a beautiful graphic. It's right there on the screen right now. Where you can find that is on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. If you go over to my page, go to my profile, you'll see a little button there that says intention statements. This intention statement is already there. And what I want you to do is just take a screenshot of it, use it as your screensaver on your phone for this week so that every time you look at it, it is a reminder to you to remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. I mean, that is the main purpose of it for you. So go check that out over there. And while you're over there, if you're not following me, I invite you to give me a follow on Instagram. It would mean the world to me. We are streaming right now on many platforms. We're on E360 TV, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we are available on Apple, Android, Hulu, Roku, and other devices. So we also take this show and we upload it as a podcast. So there are plenty of ways for you to enjoy our TV show. I have Today with Diane Forster, and we actually have, I think, close to 150 episodes of amazing content, fabulous guest speakers, all designed to help you live an intentional life. Really live a deliberate life of intention. If you're not happy with the way things are going in your life, you've got to take deliberate action. And so I bring you all of those resources here. So be sure to check us out. All right, we're getting ready to bring Ali Levine up on the stage, virtual stage with me. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, hey, Ali, nice to see you.
Hi, Diane. So good to be with you. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. I loved your wallpaper you made. I was just listening when you were sharing with the affirmation, all that. I was like, oh, that feels so good. I love it. So I will definitely be pulling that and sharing it because it was beautiful.
Oh, great. Thank you. Well, definitely. We appreciate that. All right. Well, it has been a minute since you and I have sat down together, and a lot has transpired. So
Yeah.
I want to first go into what happened with you for you to make this switch into doing breath work.
Yeah. So the last time I was on your show, I was trying to remember what year that was. That was quite a bit ago.
It was 2020.
Okay, thank you. 2020. Yes. Okay. So I had kind of just started my deep spiritual journey when we had connected again, and I've been on your show and shared my journey within that. And I've gone through, for your audience that doesn't know, I went through a pretty heavy burnout in my celebrity styling career. And then I went through postpartum depression and anxiety with my first daughter after having a pretty traumatic birth after a C-section, 42 hours later, winding up in a C-section. And I've learned over the years that so much trauma that, came up from that birth was actually things that I was holding that I hadn't processed and I hadn't dealt with because my body was holding it. And this is where breath work really showed up in my life because I had done meditation work before, I had done other mindset work. And for me personally, I wasn't able to fully move past it and move it out. And I didn't understand why, because in my mind, it was gone, right? I was like, oh, well, it's fine. I moved through it. But my body was still holding it. And so then 2020, I was pregnant with my second daughter. And like most of us in 2020, the world was a interesting place, to say the least. And being pregnant at that time and having everything go on and a lot of my limiting beliefs coming back up and just old patterns, old programs, breath work profoundly showed up to show me how you said it is such a connection to our life force and who we are. And I was finally able to cultivate true deep peace, even through the storms and the darkness of 2020. So much so that I was able to take my power back and not only just move trauma out of my body, but I was able to have my VBAC with my daughter in 2020, which was amazing after a C-section. And now fast forward to, here we are in 2024. In 2022, I had my son and I had a home birth with him. And I used breath work to move me through and move me out of my fears and into faith and into peace.
That is so beautiful, Ali. I got goosebumps and chills for you. Incredible, incredible. All right, so let's first go with the importance of releasing trauma
Yeah.
Because I don't care who you are watching or listening, you have trapped trauma. We all do. We all have trapped trauma. And it's disguising itself in other ways. And we think we're fine. Like I had Brian Ridgway on the show again. And he used the analogy, it's like a fish looking for water, right? You're
Yeah.
in it, you can't see it, right? And so the trauma becomes your new normal until
Yes.
you actually see it, right? And acknowledge it, feel it, and process it and release it, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's true. I'll have people tell me, my clients, like, I just thought I was lazy. I just thought this was part of my everyday norm. And you're right.
Ooh.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. It's like the trauma is sitting in our body and it starts to play out as programs, as patterns, as limiting beliefs, all these different things. Because I don't know if anyone here has read the book, but one of my favorite books, Diane, is The Body Keeps Score. And I read that in my journey because it really teaches you about how our cells do regenerate over time, about how the body is meant to heal and is divinely made that way when we actually process, our emotions and move them out, and how things can become ailments and, disease, which is really the disconnection, right, in our body, and understanding that it's not one piece or the other. It's mind, body, and spirit that needs to be in harmony in order for us to be able to release the trauma. And so, the fascia in our body holds the trauma. Our cells hold the trauma. Everything is listening and has memory. And so why is breath work so powerful? Well, because we now know, especially in science, that when we are deeply breathing, because all that breath work is choosing to consciously breathe. It's no longer the shallow breathing that we all do. It's actually dropping into the body. As you said, one of those methods can be the box breath. There's many different ways to do it. I know we're going to do a quick one here later, but we consciously breathe. We move from a space of the go, go, go as our mind wants to tell us, and we drop into the body and we come into true homeostasis. And when you do that and you move from that sympathetic nervous system, which on a very basic level, for anyone to understand, is a more reactionary, triggered emotional state because you are in fight, flight, or freeze. And for many of us are in fawn, which is also known as people pleasing. I think most people can relate that they people please. And so we're in that state. And so when we move into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is that true rest and digest state, that homeostasis, the body not only can start to relax and regulate, but it starts to retrain and understand, I can now release what I have been holding. I don't need to be holding this because I have this safety. And once we start doing that, the mind no longer can tell us the stories of this is why you do this, and the body essentially takes over. I always say your nervous system doesn't lie, and the mind will catch up later. It does not make sense to your mind. It does not make sense to your ego, but it will catch up because the body is doing it for you. And I truly believe when we drop in consciously, our soul comes online. We're able to connect to our higher self and our higher consciousness like you would in a meditative state, and are able to understand, that's not really me. That's just the programs and the patterns of me. Now I can see who I truly am. I can see the light within me, and I have awakened to who I am. And this is what breathwork does for us, especially when we choose to make this a conscious practice.
It's so powerful and it's so simple. It's
It is.
so simple, as things should be. They should
Yes.
be simple. Yeah. You said a few things here. Well, first of all, I did not hear about that book, but I'm not surprised at all that the body does keep score. It
Yeah.
absolutely does. The ailments and the things that are going on in your life. And if you've ever done any shadow work or digging into anything, you ask your body what it's feeling, and you'll get the feeling, you'll get the word for the emotion, and then where it's feeling, and you will immediately feel it. Where, if it's your throat, is it your
Yep.
heart, is it your back? Like the body will instantly
It
tell
goes
you.
back to that, right? I love that you brought that up because it's true. The body keeps score. Like the body goes back to that moment as if it never ever ended, and it remembers it exactly, and it shows you that emotion. And in that moment, instead of getting trapped in fear and anxiety, you choose to feel it so you can heal it and then shift and release it, right? And this is where it gets to be simple, but we as humans, myself included, until I understood how this really worked, we get stuck in it. Oh, I don't want to feel that. Oh, wait, that's fearful. I remember that. I don't want to go back there. But no, that's actually what's keeping you stuck. That's what's keeping you in the trauma and continuously creating this, tension in your body, which can turn into, like we said, manifestation of, inflammation, of, issues, of, you feeling lazy, anxious, whatever it may be. And none of it is actually you. It's just the pieces of you that you need to call back to you so you can come back to your soul of who you truly are. And so I love that you said that about feeling that emotion in the body and understanding like that once I feel this, now I have to let myself move through this and heal this. I'm not supposed to go backwards. There's a reason it's coming up. Now let me see it so we can feel it and heal it.
It's so true. And it does happen really quickly, like in seconds.
It
In
does.
seconds.
Can I speak to that for a moment? With
Of
it in
course.
seconds?
Of
So
course.
our emotions, because I was blown away when I learned this, and I don't know if you know this, Diane, but our emotions are meant to be felt for 90 seconds. They're supposed to be experienced for 90 seconds. That's it. 90 seconds. Think about, and myself included, like how long we choose, especially in the lower vibrations, to sit in fear, to sit in anxiety, to sit in sadness. And it's not saying don't feel. Not at
Right.
all. Actually, quite the opposite. No, please feel deeply, but then let's heal. Let's not
Yeah.
stay there and live there. Let's move from the stagnation to actual thriving. Let's move from being stuck to actual movement. And no, we're meant to flow in the ebbs and flows. And then when those experiences come up, we can actually move through them and not have to worry about holding them and allowing them to really hold us.
Yeah, it's really true. It's so powerful. I've done, I'm so, me, I'm so
I know.
into
Oh, I know
this.
you are. You so get it, which I love because there's so many people who will say to me like, yeah, but how could it really change my life? And I'm like, look, on a very simple level, it's just going to give you more peace, more clarity, less anxiousness, less stress, as you spoke to so beautifully with that retreat. Your oxygen, it showed. I mean, it literally shows in your body, which is then, oxygenating your cells. It's turning everything over. It's regenerating. It's truly actually like age reversing you in a way inside your body by what you're doing, and you're able to thrive. And then on a deeper level, you're able to connect back to who you are as a soul. And I've seen with so many clients and myself transformation that happens over and over because I believe since this is such a sacred life force within us, it's there for us to survive, not just thrive. We of course need the breath to be here on this planet as humans. But
Right.
I really don't believe that that's the only reason we were given this. I truly believe it is our sacred life force. It is something that we get to tap into divinely any minute of any day and come home to ourselves and receive who we are at a soul level. And the more you do that, the more your gifts come online. Like I cannot explain in my life how much more gifts of my own that have just been shown to me as I, go through this deeper and deeper in the breath. And I'm like, it makes sense. We open ourselves up further and further. And then God and our angels, source, universe, however you feel, comes in and is like, yes, this is who you are as a soul. Now let me show you more. And you're vibrating at the highest vibration, the highest frequency. So everything is going to magnetize to you at that level. You're not going to be attracting the lower stuff anymore because you can't, because you've literally oscillated and vibrated yourself into a higher dimension. And this is the quantum field that many speak to. And this is, all through our breath. And so it's like, I can't scream it from the rooftops enough of how powerful you are as a soul and a sovereign being. And you start to connect back to that the moment you take a conscious breath.
Yes. So true. So true. So true. That being consciously aware of it, waking up to it is the first step in the change, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just remember my son, being young and really having trouble getting his words out. Like he was struggling with his confidence as a little boy. And I would feel him, and I would want to breathe for him. You know, I could feel that feeling. And it's just for no other reason, anybody who's watching or listening, for no other reason than you are just going to feel better. You're just going to feel better.
Yes.
Yeah. And yes, you're going to have all these other positive effects. Things are going to happen. Things are going to start to shift. And like you said, where it is the life force, like I said at the beginning, like we both know this, it is the life force, our breath, the air, the oxygen that we take in is responsible for the functioning of us. We could go, we could go weeks and months. Some people go years without food. We could go, days and weeks without water. We can only go minutes without breath.
That's so true. Yeah.
So if you think about, that's how important proper breathing and breath work is for your.
It's your divine air within, and exactly, and it's like you're meant to move through this. And when you speak to your son, I can relate so much, because my one who was born in 2020, my second daughter, Arlie, she has a hard time moving through emotions, and she gets stuck using her words. And I do breath work with her the most, and sit with her and teach her how to retrain her nervous system in order how to feel safe and how to move through what's going on, and she'll sit there and she'll, I'll teach her to beat on her chest, because that helps stimulate your vagus nerve, which is connected to all of this. And I do fun things for her as a child, right? Because kids have a harder time, but same thing. Hey, where are you feeling the emotion? Let's talk about maybe the color you're seeing. Okay, now let's move it out. Now can you feel it releasing? And I can see how much more it's helping her. I can see her just, in a moment where she wants to scream and flip out. Even if she does scream, she'll bring herself back to neutral so much quicker than she used to. And she'll regulate herself, and I think a lot of children, need that simple tool just to know, like, oh, my breath can be my safety. I can use this as, a safe space. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. All right. So why don't you walk us through the process?
Okay, sure.
Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So all I'll preface and say is that, of course, if you're driving or doing anything that is not safe, please come back to this part so that we're, we're being safe. That's all I'll say. I have to say that because you'd be surprised, Diane, how many people I've had message me and say, oh, I did your breath work while I was driving. And I'm like, oh, no, let's not do that. So I just have to preface it. Okay. All right. So wherever you are, I just want you to let yourself land here. Just ground in this moment. Take a natural deep breath in, whether your eyes are open or closed. And release. Sigh it out. Let the day go. Let your morning go. Let the evening go. Wherever you are, just let it all go. Just land here in this now present moment, because we have this moment right now, like we are, and I have today. We have this moment. So let's just land here. And I want to invite powerfully blow out your mouth like an O.
You froze there for a second. So you wanted us to breathe in through the nose and then powerfully.
Oh,
yes. Okay.
Yes. Breathe in through the nose. And then powerfully blow it out your mouth. And as you breathe, I want you to just think about an intention that comes to you, whether it be joy, abundance, happiness, gratitude, whatever feels right to you. We'll breathe into joy just because this show is so much joy. But you go with what feels good to you. So as you do, I want you to just breathe in deeply through your nose, that intention. I'm breathing in joy. And then slowly breathe out. And as you breathe out your mouth, I want you to trust and just allow yourself to let go, consciously or unconsciously, of anything that is standing in your way. It doesn't matter if you don't know, just let it go as you breathe it out. And then come back in, breathing in joy. And each time you breathe in, I want you to think about you pulling the energy from almost the bottom of your root, like the bottom of, your womb space at the bottom, very bottom, and pull all the way up to the very top of your head. So pulling that energy and really pulling that vibration all the way to the very top. And then coming up. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing it out. And again, deeply breathing in, pulling that energy all the way to the very top. So if you follow chakras, all the way from your root chakra, all the way to the crown, very much at the bottom, all the way to the top of your head, just pulling it all the way up, all that energy to the very top, that highest vibration of your intention, and then slowly letting it all go. We're going to do this 2 more times. Deep breath in, all the way to the top. This time I'm going to invite you, before you release, to hold for 8 in your heart. Just hold this as long as it feels good to you. Please hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and release it. And this very last one, whether your eyes are open or closed, I want you to pull that energy again from the very bottom and that intention all the way up. Pull it all the way to the tippy top. And this time, I want you to hold for as long as you can. Basically, we're going to try to go as close to 90 seconds so you can feel and experience that emotional code of what your intention is. And I want you to hold this deeply. And I'll keep track for you, but just hold. And even if you can't fully hold the breath, just hold the intention, feel the emotion, experience it, hold it in your heart space, let it expand you. Beautiful work. Just hold that joy, hold that gratitude, hold that abundance, whatever it is, that highest vibration of you, just hold it here. Trusting the body already knows. Just holding. And when you're ready, very slowly letting it go. And slowly coming back if your eyes were closed. And so it is.
That was beautiful. So what did that take? Just a few minutes?
Just a few minutes. Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to take too much of our time. And also, I know we're sitting here, so, we're live on a screen. Some people might be like, what's going on? But it's just that simple, right? We just take those few minutes to be conscious. And when we can start to really breathe into an intention that resonates for us and truly feel the letting go. And personally for me, when I work with clients, that pulling of that energy really helps them to kind of visualize, I'm really building this. I'm building this emotion. I'm building this vibration of what I want. And then I'm truly letting go of all that is in my way, whether I know or not. So many times, right? Like you said in the beginning, we don't know what the trauma is. It just masks and makes itself something else. So being curious here and allowing yourself to just let it go, even if you don't know what you're letting go, because your body does know and it's going to respond. And later on, you might have an emotion come up, or, you might all of a sudden just feel extra energetic. And it's because you made the room, you released a block, even if you didn't realize what you were holding.
Right. Which means it's so effective. You don't have to go in and dig up your past.
Right.
You do not have to do that. You've lived through that already. Yes. Is it good at times? Right. Can it be good to remember the trigger? It certainly can, but it's certainly not necessary. Your body will be able to release that trapped trauma and you will be able to let go of it. And this is the biggest thing that I learned last year. I knew it already, but I went through the motions of it. It's way more about releasing than it is about adding.
Absolutely.
If you
Yeah.
are doing mantra meditations or affirmations, or you're doing your goals, or you're doing all the things that everyone's doing, but you haven't released the trauma, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time,
So
right?
true. It's true because you might be, and that's what honestly, being vulnerable and honest with your audience, that's what I realized after
Yeah.
I went through everything with my first daughter and everything when it came to my second daughter's birth, and everything was coming back up for me. And it was almost like I was experiencing postpartum depression on like a new level. I was like, what is happening? I worked through all of this. I did all of this work. I healed. So I thought I did shadow work, all the things. But here we are, and everything's like more intense because obviously the world's more intense, everything. And I had to understand that it was because my body was still holding the trauma. And Diane, I would share at the end of Arlie's birth, when I was, pushing her out, she got stuck at the very end, the same way my daughter Amelia did. And that shows you my body remembered the trauma. And so therefore it wanted to go into freeze and hold. And thank God I had my breath, that I was able to start to deeply breathe and get into my meditation and breath work in that moment. And truly, I still don't know how to explain to this day what happened. I told my husband it was an out of body experience. All of a sudden, I knew I was there, pushing her out, and I could see myself above my body. I could see these beautiful, like heavenly realm is how I would describe it. And I could feel that I was there, yet I wasn't there. And then next thing I know, there she is on my chest, and everyone's in shock, myself included. And it was like, how did that just happen? And I allowed myself to go to that state, right? Instead of getting stuck in the fear and allowing my body to lock up, I used that conscious breath to deeply get in and then release the trauma, And I think it was so powerful to show me like, wow, even all the deep work I did, that trauma was still layers and layers there that needed to be released.
Yes, it is. It is. And people might be wondering, well, where does it go? Where does that trap trauma, what actually happens to it? I mean, I have my answer, but I want to hear yours.
Sure.
Where does the trapped energy go?
So yeah, I mean, this might get deep, but to me, everything is energy, right? So our emotions are energy in motion. That's what I truly believe. And so once we move it out, it's not destroyed, but it's no longer holding within us. It's gone. To me, it alchemizes into light. It's been moved through. It's flowing. It's no longer stuck. It's probably actually relieved to be out of you and moving through, and it can be recreated, because we know that energy is cannot be created or destroyed, right? And so
Right.
if you understand that, then all you need to do, like you said, is release and then trust the rest of the process is going to happen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So fascinating to realize this. You think you can outsmart or outwit yourself, and you can't.
Yeah, you
The,
can't.
the subconscious mind has the memories, has all the files. It
Yep.
doesn't understand past, present, future. It doesn't understand true or false. It just is. Everything is. Everything is now. And the trauma in the body, where it decides to stay and get locked in, you can't hide that either.
No, you can't.
You
And the
can
body
tell.
eventually creates something, right? Unfortunately, you see inflammation. I mean, when I went through my journey, it was inflammation, it was cystic acne, it was all these things that nobody could explain what was happening to me, because I was supposed to be healing after my birth and everything that had happened. And everyone's looking at me going, why is she going in reverse? And it was because my body knew. My body knew. Your body is your divine messenger. It is your divine channel. It's always telling you something. And so
Yeah.
if we're not listening and tuning in, and like you said, we're not releasing, well, then we're just stuck, and that's what we have to understand. It has to be mind, body, and spirit, that we are the entire, piece, and it's not one or the other. We have to have them working together. And I've seen, for me personally, with breath work and becoming conscious, my mind has become much quieter. My mind has become much more peaceful, and I can actually see the thoughts and send them off with love. Okay, I see you. This is an old pattern, but no, thank you. I know what my actual truth is. We're going to move that away, right? And so that's also helped me to be able to bring in that harmony and that dance between, the breathing and working with the mind.
Mm-hmm. So true. And oh God, I just had a point that I wanted to make that was really powerful about what you just said. Um,
Which part? About the body, or about what goes on between our mind and
oh,
body?
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You triggered
Yeah.
me.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yep.
Um, that also, if we're going to go woo,
Yeah.
we
Sure.
absolutely have to do this.
Okay.
This may not even be your trauma.
Oh,
This
I
could
love that you
be,
went there.
could be past lifetimes or
Yes.
generational trauma that you are carrying with you. So, and in utero trauma for
Yes.
for you, it like again, you don't actually have to know. It helps to know, but you don't have to know. But
Right.
the thing is, especially if you're feeling stuck somewhere, like let's just say you can't find love. You just no matter what, the relationships don't work out, or you can't lose the weight, or you can't make the money, or whatever the thing is that you just keeps eluding you, no matter how hard you try. It is definitely because you have a block. It's
Yeah.
definitely because you have trauma and something is blocking you, and that trauma, you said mind, body, spirit, that trauma in the mind, the trauma in the body, the trauma in the spirit is going to make sure it doesn't happen, because
Yes.
you're going to continue to go to what did you say, you want to get to parasympathetic state,
Yeah.
and you can't because of
You're
all of
locked in.
that. You are
Yes.
locked in. It's
Hmm.
like the seatbelt is on and you can't break free. It's
Right.
like prison. It is like being in
You're in that
prison.
survival mode. You're just stuck in surviving instead of actually moving from surviving to thriving. You just keep coming back to this survival and this swirling pattern. And so many people live there thinking, well, it's fine. I'm fine. This is how my family lives. This is how so and so live. But that's not how we're actually meant to live. We're meant to thrive in all areas of our life. We're meant to be abundant. We're meant to be in these high vibrations. Of course, we're going to experience life. We're here on a very dense planet, which starts to be changing. But regardless, we're here. So we have to experience all the emotions. We have to go through all the experiences, but we get to choose, right? How we actually move through it and what happens. And like you said too, so beautifully about the generational trauma and the ancestral, we now know like it's 7 to 9 generations, that actually like we pull forward and, and we stay in. So it's like when you heal, by the way, you're not only just healing for you, but you're healing for generations forward.
Yeah,
It's like you're actually changing. You're actually changing the way. I mean,
you
oh
are.
my God,
You're
you're
changing
changing the
the
way you.
trajectory.
Yes, the trajectory, exactly. Sorry, my daughter showed up, and when you are also healing, you're also changing what's come in, what you've been holding for so many years. And like you said, you don't necessarily have to know, oh, this is from my great grandmother, oh, this is from my great grandfather, whoever it was. You just know I was holding this and I've released it. And by the way, your ancestors are celebrating because they didn't have the tools to know how to release this and move out of this. And you do. That's why you're here now.
So powerful, and it's so true. So it's really your duty and responsibility to learn this skill and this technique. And I'm really grateful for you, Ali. So a couple more questions. And one of the
Yeah.
things that we're going to do is you've got an app. So we're going to talk about that. But um, well, the first question I have is, how do you live the I have today way? And if you could start that intention statement with, I have today too, will you
Oh,
let us
sure.
know? Yeah.
Okay. I love that. Well, I would say I have today to consciously breathe. I have today to experience this sacred life by starting with my conscious breath.
Mm, so beautiful. So beautiful. And then what do you wish more people knew? I know where you're going to go with this, but we'll explain it. What do you
Sure.
wish more people knew?
Yeah, honestly, I wish they knew how powerful breath work was, and not just in the fact of just, hey, I'm breathing, but the actual like you get to thrive in your life. And as someone, and Diane knows, she's known me for a very long time, as someone who did not thrive in their life from burnout in their celebrity, Hollywood stylist career. I had all the boxes checked. But I was empty as a human. I was empty in my soul. I had no idea why. No matter what I did, no matter what box I checked off, I was empty until I realized there was so much work I had to do on myself, on Ali, that was just from all different things, between generational trauma, from, family, school, all the things, right, that we all go through. But that when I started to do the inner work and started to actually love myself, like unconditionally, and then found tools like breathwork, like meditation, like all these different modalities that are spoken about here, it changed my life. And not only did it change me from going from surviving to thriving, but now my gifts, like I said, have come online in a whole new way. And the people and the community and the opportunities, like I can't say enough things. And breathwork for me has always been the shift. I love so many other modalities, but there's something so sacred and powerful about our divine breath. It really brings us, I truly believe, home to ourselves as souls. It truly brings us home to our soul design. And then we're able to access the magic within us and who we truly are as sovereign beings. And that's what it does for me day in and day out, as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a coach, and all the things that I do.
Yeah. It's really powerful. It really is this simple, everyone. It is this simple. You are gonna die. We are all gonna die. That is part of the journey. That is everlasting, beautiful life. We've heard a million stories about people who've crossed over and come back. They all share the same thing. It's a love that is so ineffable you can't even describe it, and it's just so bliss. Takes away everyone's fear of dying. I have zero fear of dying, by the way.
Same.
And so while you were here on Earth School, that we chose to come to, we did, to have these experiences, all the good, all the bad. We're so blessed. We're so lucky. But it really can be way more joyful. I'll use your word, joyful, than you realize once you start tapping into this, that you are the most important thing. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, how we're so focused on yourself and you being selfish in a really good way this year. The self-awareness, the self-appreciation, the self-worth, the self-help, the habits, all of it, the self-love. Yes. And this is just a beautiful way to do it. Really enhance it. So thank you so much. Yeah. All right. So talk to us about your app. Oh, she froze.
Am I here?
Okay, there you go. You're back.
Oh, okay, cool. So my app. So thank you very much. So my app I created because as I've gone through this journey, I've recognized that not everyone is ready to maybe hire a facilitator, or maybe they're not, emotionally ready to go into a session, whatever it may be. And that's okay. And I was there too. And I needed a way to feel like, okay, I can start to do this in a really simple way and not feel overwhelmed. I think a lot of people also overcomplicate this and think it has to be, an hour-long session to have a breakthrough, or 45 minutes. And yes, those sessions are beautiful and powerful, and retreats, all of it are wonderful. But like we said, it starts with the basics, just a few minutes, as you saw when we did this exercise before. So that's why I created my app. My app is called Breathe and Be, just the word breathe and then A-N-D and the letter B in capital, because I wanted you to know, thank you. I wanted you to know that it's about breathing and coming back to the being of who you are. It's on App Store and on Google Play. And it's a beautiful way to start this practice and ask yourself, am I ready for this journey? And you can go 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then it leads into longer journeys for you. And there's also affirmations on there and meditations with breath work. And I pour in new exercises and content every month so that there's always new intentions to move into. But I really wanted it to be a place for everyone to essentially unplug from the matrix and come into awakening into who they are through their conscious breath and having me to guide them.
So good. So there it is. And you got a special offer for our audience, don't you, Ali?
Yes, I do. Yes, I wanted everyone to at least get curious. That's what I'll tell you. I'll tell you, as someone who never took a conscious breath for many years of her life, and when someone would say, "Oh, you should try breath work," I'd be like, "Okay." I'm telling you, the transformation is real. So I want everyone to get curious and say, let me just give this a shot. What's the worst thing? I don't like it, so then don't do it. Try my app. Use the code today, all in caps, that will give you 10% off from Diane. It is exclusive only to her show. And please make sure when you scan it, it brings up the link. It'll show you the code underneath. It'll say discount code. That's where you enter it in. Don't just click the link. You're going to have to actually go through and type in the code. But once you type in today, you'll see it gives you the 10% off for your first month, and you'll be able to experience, and I wanted everyone to have this gift because our breath is the gift within us. And so I want you to be able to start to use your breath and understand how powerful you are and come home to yourself.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate that. And I so appreciate you, Ali.
Yes,
I
appreciate you, Diane. I'm so grateful to be here and get to come back. I've loved watching your show and so many incredible episodes and the lives that you're transforming and what you're doing. It's so beautiful and it's so needed at this time of what we're going through. I think this consciousness shift that we're experiencing on Earth, and it just warms my heart. And I'm just so grateful to get to share my story and hopefully light other people up and inspire them, give them hope to know that, you do not have to live in survival mode. You are not meant to survive. You are meant to thrive. And please, whatever you do, just know that. Even if you don't, walk away and start breathwork right away, just know that you are meant to thrive as a soul. And I am here for your soul expansion. If you do want to work with me, I'm here for you.
So beautiful. So beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
So great. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but I already feel better just having that conversation and doing the breath work. And what Ali just said is a perfect segue for what I want to share with you about this show and this platform and the work that we bring here. It's different. We want to be different. We want to be cutting edge and leading the way and having you be empowered in your life. Does not matter what is going on in the rest of the world, that you are empowered. You have the choice. You get to decide how you want to live, how you want to feel. And what we want to do here at I Have Today is to help create the awareness for you that, maybe my life could be different. Maybe I could be different. Maybe it doesn't need to be as hard as I think it is. And so we're providing the resources for you to learn more, to educate yourself more. So I have solo shows, and then I bring on amazing guests. But one of the other things I'm doing that is so exciting is launching our own television network. I Have Today TV is coming out. And what I'm doing is I'm helping other women who want to get their message out to the world in a much bigger way. I'm teaching them how to launch and start in their own TV show. And I've got an amazing event coming up. I want you to pay attention to this ad right now, and then I'll come back and tell you how you can get registered for it. So take a look at this. What is TV Host Maker Live? During this 3-day event, you'll learn how easy and affordable having a TV show is, and more importantly, how to monetize your TV show. You'll learn everything from set design, show format, tech, production, monetization, building audience, on-camera confidence, booking and interviewing amazing guests, and becoming the celebrity expert that attracts clients, customers, fans, followers, and the media. I uncovered the winning formula called the STAR method that will make you become a TV star. So sign up today to make your dream of becoming a TV star a reality. All right. So if that's something you've thought about, you've had a dream, I want my own TV show. I want to be a star. This is your chance and your opportunity to join me for this 3-day virtual event. All you need to do is go to www.tvhostmaker.com/live, or just scan the QR code and you'll get all the information. So I hope to see you there. All right. So I wanted to share that with you. And then I wanted to wrap our show with our mantra meditation, which is going to feel so good after we've done breath work. And now we're going to do a mantra meditation, which we like to do at the end of every episode so that you leave here feeling better at the end than you did at the beginning. And I want to take in everything that we learned from Ali today, which was so rich and so beautiful, and really anchor that in as you go about the rest of your today. So what I want to ask you to do, I'm going to do a little instruction like Ali did, and there's so much symmetry. So this is going to feel so good. We're going to do 2 breaths, and we're going to breathe in for the count of 4 through our nose, pull it all the way down to our tailbone, our root chakra. And just like Ali did, we're going to count to 8, but we're going to send energy with each count to each one of the chakras. And so you'll start with your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, and your soul star, which is about a foot above your head. That one is so important because that is the conduit and the portal to be able to receive information. So you want all the energy up there clean. All right. So don't worry, I'll count you through it, but just pretend like your chakras are lighting up with this energy as you're going up. All right. And then blow it out for 8 seconds as if you are blowing out birthday candles. So get all that toxicity and that trapped trauma up and out of you. So it feels like your abdomen feels like a deflated balloon at the end. And then we're going to do it twice. So just listen to my words and my guidance, follow along, make sure you're not driving or operating heavy equipment or machinery, right? We got to be really careful. And if you are, pause this, watch this later, and make sure you watch Ali's breath work and this mantra meditation. And here we go. So close your eyes, breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. And hold it as you send energy to your 8 chakras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and blow it out for the count of 8. Oh, it feels so good. All right, let's do that one more time. Breathe in for the count of 4 through your nose. Pull it all the way down. And then hold it and send energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Blow it out like you're blowing out birthday candles. And just listen to the words. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. It already has. Miracles big and small, I notice them all. Yes, 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 thank you. I have today to breathe my way into purpose and joy. I'm going to allow myself to connect the mind, the body, and the spirit to release any trapped trauma that is within me, whether it's in my mind, it's in my body, it's in my spirit, it's in this lifetime, it's in previous lifetimes, because everything has a memory and I don't need to carry them around anymore. Whether I'm consciously or unconsciously aware, there are things that have happened to me in this experience that are holding me back if I am struggling in any area of my life. If I'm just sort of striving through life and being fine and being okay, that is no longer good enough. I'm here to thrive and enjoy and live this life to the fullest. It comes in such a blink of an eye and goes in such a blink of an eye, and I'm going to enjoy as much of it as I possibly can. I am okay to feel my emotions and heal my emotions, because I'm only supposed to process them for 90 seconds. That's it. That's it. And I'm going to trust my body and lean into it because I know that my nervous system does not lie, that my breath is the life force that keeps me alive, keeps everything alive. And I'm going to honor it and cherish it. And I'm going to use these techniques that Ali shared today to ground myself into presence, to find my purpose, to feel my soul, my calling, my direction, to live in bliss beyond my wildest dreams, because it's only a breath away. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to thank my guest, Ali Levine, for being here. It was a beautiful episode. Make sure that you go get her app, Breathe and Be. Start your breathwork journey today. Give us a follow here. We're here every Monday at 11 a.m. It's been a privilege and an honor to be your host. I'll see you next time on I Have Today. Take care. Bye-bye.